What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to the Thagamersbox. I'm G. I'll be your host once again tonight, and joining me is
Tubby.
So, this video will again be talking about tabletop role-playing.
Ooh, which one?
You're playing my campaign right now.
Ah.
We'll be talking about one of the expansions that this game has brought forth so far.
Which one?
Ultimate Combat, really. It's just... Why do you have my book?
Well, it's better than the Ultimate Magic.
What's wrong with casters, mother...
Let's just review the book.
Now, one of the new additions in the Ultimate Combat is 3 new core classes. Now, the core classes that they've added are the Gunslinger, the Ninja, and the Samurai.
I have personal experience with the Gunslinger because I'm running it in one of our other friends' campaigns.
Really? Okay, now, where did I put my book?
The Gunslinger is the first class to get to use firearms.
When you say firearms, do you mean like 9mm handguns and shotguns and Uzis and stuff?
No, it's a little less advanced than that. It's more like flintlock pistols and rifles, and maybe the most advanced thing you'll get is a revolver.
Oh, well, that's not too bad, I suppose. Does, like, use standard ammunition, like, you know, like...
well, a lot of it's black powder and shot.
Okay, alright.
The most advanced you'll get is the revolvers have to have the metal rounds. Okay. Just like we have today, the cartridge rounds.
Alright, that's not too bad. Now, is there anything else that the Gunslinger provides besides being able to be a new long-range playable class?
They can fix and repair guns, obviously, because that's their main thing. They also get this new nifty little ability that's called Grit. And basically what it is it's a cross between their skill and luck with guns, and they can use that to do various different things with the guns.
That's not too bad. Now being a gunslinger, though, I probably have some problems with that. I mean, I've never played one, but, I mean, say for instance, playing a campaign and you get knocked over and you drop your gun. I mean, that leaves it open for, you know, some other character, or even whatever you're fighting, if it's, say, humanoid, and picks up and, you know, caps you.
Well, as long as you have the gunsmith ability, you can use it proficiently and not take any negatives. Well, you have to have the exotic weapon proficiency otherwise to be able to use it. So you take a -4 when you go to use it if you're not proficient with it, just like you would with any other exotic weapon.
Alright, that's cool and all. Alright, so the next character we'll talk about is the Ninja. Which, of course, basically the Ninja, all he really is a combination of the Monk and the Rogue. If I remember correctly, the Ninja also has a pool that it pulls from, just like the Monk does, if I'm correct.
From what I can see, yes, it has a key pool just like the Monk does.
And there we go. As far as being part of Rogue, it has the ability to blend in with its surroundings and be more stealth-like. As far as like picking locks and stuff, I think that's just a lower skill that it may have or may not have. I'm not quite sure.
I don't think so. I think mostly what it is the rogue part that it brings over is the stealth and the sneak attacking. They get a sneak attack ability just like the rogue does.
Alright. Now, I've actually had my chance to play a ninja one time. Just only one time. And from what I remember, it has a various amount of skills, or as it says in the book, they're called ninja tricks. Such as shadow clones, or if I remember correctly, give me my book. Let's see, here we go. Fast stealth. They're able to be stealthy and use their stealth skill, but still run at full pace rather than having to go half speed or whatnot. Poison bomb, pressure points. It goes on. You can also take from the Rogue's class of talents that the Rogue has. It actually gives you a small list. Now, The next, have you played the next class?
Not really, but it reminds me to being similar to the Cavalier that was out of the advanced book.
Now the Cavalier basically is like a party buffer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of like the herald of the party and the face, the person that's out front.
Okay, that's...
And he gives a group buff. Now the samurai has a lot of the same abilities, except it's more of an Eastern feel.
Okay, so no, that's not too bad. Well...
also, the Ultimate Combat tries to introduce a few extra combat feats here and there and whatnot, but it's not really a big change on what was already there.
Yeah, I've looked over some of the feats that are in this book, and the number of pages that the feats covers is about 10 pages. That's a lot of feats. Now, if you're running a campaign specifically for straight up combat, then this is the book that you want to use. Straight up combat. The book also introduces, just like in the Ultimate Magic, archetypes for each of the combat-oriented classes. Now, we'll pick an example for you guys, okay? Let's see. Well, what are you thinking? Oh, here we go. Fighter. Fighters. Yeah, you always play a dwarven fighter anyway. So one of the archetypes for the fighter that's in the Ultimate Combat is called a Dragoon, which some of you may not know what that is. Basically is a mounted fighter. A Dragoon gets a bonus for having height advantage over any opponent that it has.
They also can basically leap off of their mount, attack someone, and leap back onto their mount without ever losing their riding feats and whatnot.
Though from what it says in the book, that the Dragoon also gets the banner special ability, just like the Cavalier does. It basically kind of boosts not only itself but the party as well. But it comes in handy. Now,
it just gives a way for a fighter to be more than just the beat stick.
Now, if, say, you chose the Dragoon, their mainly oriented weapon is spears and lances. Not mainly any type of sword or mace or anything like that.
Which in confined spaces, that might be taxing.
Yes.
Like if you're fighting in a very confined hallway, it's kind of hard to flail around with a spear.
Okay. The next topic we'll get to is mastering combat, which there's various things that they have added to this, such as what do they do? Eastern armored weapons, firearms, gladiator weapons, primitive armored weapons, dueling, performance combat, and wait, does that say siege engines?
Why, yes, it does.
Oh.
They've actually added stats for siege engines.
For what reason? In any campaign whatsoever, do you need a siege engine for?
You might want to attack a castle. And you can't exactly just go knock on the gate and say, please let me in.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's just browse over this real quick, touch up on a few things. Now, well,
mainly armor-wise, they go over Eastern armor and weapons. They cover a lot of the Eastern stuff.
Now, Eastern stuff, when he says Eastern, he means more along the Orient side. Most of the armor is basically just samurai armor that you can actually get a hold of. Now, that's if the GM or Game Master that's running the campaign allows this book into the campaign. Now, the campaign that I'm running right now, I've allowed this book as well to be in my campaign. So, but not the Eastern armor. Some of the Eastern weapons. Some.
Which this also goes well with the, was it the Bestiary 3 that introduced a lot of the Eastern monster character classes?
That will be a different video that will talk about that. But as far as the Eastern weapons, firearms, That's if the game master or GM allows it within their campaign. The next thing to touch up upon are the gladiator weapons that are also in this book. This book holds a lot of new additions as weapons and armor, besides the addition of all the feats.
They also did the primitive weapons to where you can revert your campaign back to like the Stone Age or the Bronze Age, to where you don't have like the plate mail and stuff like they would in the medieval times.
So basically you're running around in a loincloth with a stick.
Yeah, if you felt so inclined.
Okay, but from let's see. Okay. So basically, from what I've read over, actually, you probably read this more than I have. For some odd reason, the book keeps ending up over in your hands. That a lot of the weapons and the armor that's from the Gladiator side is basically like some of the stuff from that movie Gladiator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
and a lot of it's also for show, and it revs up the crowd, which they have feats for that too.
I mean, like flair.
Yeah, basically that's the whole purpose of it, is to look cool.
Okay, so the next part is duels. Say a campaign that you're playing is the setting for the campaign is for a more civilized scenario, rather than just straight out brawling and trying to hack the next guy in half. I believe those two individuals can actually set a time and place to actually have a duel.
To where if you wanted to do it like with the aristocracy or like the higher like royalty and whatnot, they would challenge each other in a duel instead of just breaking out in a fight in the middle of pleasant company.
I guess you could say it tries to show a bit of civilization or civilized.
Well, it would be more for people that like to do the social game more than the combat game. This would give a combat out for the people that like combat and be able to resolve disputes and whatnot.
Okay. Which in the Ultimate Combat, the book actually breaks down exactly how to start a duel, maintain a duel. It tells you how to figure out damage, how to counter, how to dodge, as well as pairing, resolve, duels, and performance combat. Which that's one of the other things that they also added underneath the duels is performance combat, which is basically, it's not really a duel, but more along the lines just a fancy swordplay show.
It's like when we have boxing matches and whatnot. It's more of a show to see who comes out on top.
Yes. Now, having a performance combat, I mean, it's just a show. That's all it really is. And with that going about, you say you and I had a performance combat. I mean, we're just putting on a show. I mean, we want to please the crowd. But if the crowd's not pleased, it's going to hinder us from our performance.
And the crowd could also...
And that's actually one of the things that they actually added into this book, called Crowd Attitude. Now, if the crowd doesn't like what they're seeing, it can hinder us as we perform. If the crowd likes what they see, then we'll be able to perform better. Now...
And it gives plus and minuses, so forth, for that.
Now, we'll go ahead. Let's go ahead and skip on to the next thing. Now, skipping on to the next part that they added into the Ultimate Combat for Pathfinder is...
Vehicle rules.
Not just rules, but actual vehicles.
Well, yeah.
When we speak of vehicles, we don't mean like, driving around in a Murcielago or a GT 500. No. We're mainly talking about donkey and a wagon. Or, in this case...
Chariot, horses, boats.
Sleighs.
So on and so forth.
Boats. It actually breaks it down to the point to where it gives the vehicle stats.
To where in the original rules, without this, vehicles were more of a backdrop. They were a background.
That's all they were. Now, it actually gives rules and tells you how to move the vehicle in whichever direction it's supposed to go, or whichever direction that you're wanting it to go.
How to have combat while the vehicle's in motion.
It also has actually, where's that list? What page was that list on for the types of vehicles?
Should be right here.
Here. Types of land vehicles that you can possibly have in the campaign, that whichever you're playing, such as carriage, cart, a chariot, light, medium, sleighs, steam giant. What's a steam giant?
I'm probably assuming it's some sort of large powered steam vehicle.
Huh. Okay.
But that's if you have steamworks in your campaign and whatnot.
Now, they also added water vessels, such as boats. Now, they actually have different types of water vessels that you can get a hold of. It gives the stats for each and every vessel.
Including a rowboat.
Yes, a rowboat. It has the stats for a rowboat.
That it does.
Okay, whatever. You can get such things as a rowboat, or a galley, or a keelboat, a longship, sail ship, warship. It's not too bad. Land vehicles and water transportation, but they also added another category for air vessels,
which goes along with the steam category and whatnot.
Yeah, if those are out there who actually are into steampunk, whatever, that actually fits in here a bit and has been slid into Pathfinder. They have airships, alchemical dragon, glider.
Alchemical dragon.
Alchemical dragon. No, we're not going to. And that's it. That's it.
They added some of the base stuff. They made it to where you could have some air combat and whatnot if you were so inclined.
Yes.
But otherwise, they just kind of skimmed it and made it to.
So basically they just added a few things. A glider. The next part that they introduced in the Ultimate Combat is variant rules for campaigns that you want to run. Now, these rules are just additional rules if you want to add them to the campaign that you're playing, such as rather than playing a campaign where your armor just stacks onto your AC, which is your armor class, you can actually add it to your damage resistance, or DR.
Damage reduction, actually, but yes.
You had to correct me, didn't you?
At least I didn't wind up with a book.
Keep your hands off my book. Now, that's a variant rule that you could use rather than just sticking with the base rules from the core book or the advanced book. One other thing is that they added is called called shots. Rather than just pegging someone just straight on and just attacking them, you actually make a called shot. Hit them in the foot, the elbow, the chest, make a headshot.
And then depending, it gives certain effects depending on where you hit them at.
But it also gives you a difficulty upon what you're hitting. And the smaller the object, the harder it is to hit.
They also covered piecemeal armor, which is basically you can have different...
Piecemeal?
Yeah.
What's piecemeal?
It's basically you wear different pieces of different sets of armor instead of wearing whole sets of armor. To where you could make it to where instead of you buying a suit of plate mail, you could get pieces of plate and add them to a suit of leather armor.
So, like, you wear the leather armor and then have the plate on top of it?
You could use it to where you could take one arm and like you be an archer. You could wear like the chest plate of like plate mail or chain, and then have the leather arm so that it doesn't mess with your pulling of the bow and firing.
Ah, okay. Actually, that sounds a bit. Now, besides that, what's the word? Advantages that it also gives your character while you.
It has advantages and disadvantages. The advantages would be that it gives you the ability to wear heavier parts of armor without having to be weighed down with the whole suit and mess with your casting and whatnot if you're a caster, or your archery if you're an archer and whatnot.
Okay.
But the downside to it is that you're still taking like the weight penalty. Like you can't carry over a certain amount of weight or anything like that.
Okay, that actually sounds really interesting. That kind of reminds me of some of the games I used to play on I think it was PS1 and PS2. Some of the role players that I used to play. Let's see, what's the next thing that we're going to talk about in this book?
It also gives variant rules for like wounds and vigor,
Wounds and vigor.
to where instead of using hit points, you can say that your character can take so many wounds to certain parts of their body and have a certain amount of vigor that keeps them alive.
Oh, well, actually, that actually sounds like it would make the campaign a bit more difficult to play.
It would make it more realistic.
Yeah. But you'd actually have to focus on a lot of trying not to get hit and surviving constantly. Which, of course, if a caster was in that kind of campaign, then the caster would... Don't say anything.
Speaking of casters, they also added a small spell section.
Yeah, you're right. They did add a few set of new spells, which I don't understand why they're spells in the Ultimate Combat.
Well, the reason they're spells in the Ultimate Combat is because they gave some of the spells to the cross classes. Like the Alchemist, he's kind of a... or he or she, whatever, is kind of a semi-combat class. They have bombs and whatnot, so they give them more abilities, but they also have spells in liquid form.
Wait, hold up. Alchemists use bombs? That actually sounds like a bad idea. Wait.
It is a bad idea sometimes.
No.
But we're not going to go there. But basically, a lot of it, like for the wizard and the sorcerer, they gave modifications to the siege engine that we covered earlier.
Yeah. That's it. That's the Ultimate Combat. Okay. But if you want any more information about the Ultimate Combat, go to Paisio.com, and Paisio will actually has more information on the book, more detailed info if you need any. I believe on the website you can get a PDF.
Yes, they have PDFs so that you can get most of the books, as far as we know, and they also have previews of new books that are coming out.
New books. The only new book that I know of is the Advanced Races,
which seems like a very interesting book.
Which, of course, we'll try to review that book as soon as we can get a hold of a copy. So, what's next?
I have to go defend the wall.
You're gonna use that?
It's all they would give me.
Here, use this.
Where did you get that?
Internet?
Okay, thanks.
Wait. You might need that. It won't work without it. Don't shoot any of our people!
AR, kill. DMR, kill. Sniper, kill. Shotgun, kill. Plasma, kill. Melee, kill. Double, kill. Over, kill. Nah, I done grew up around some people living in life in Halo. Mac Daddy had that sniper rifle, backstroke every day in Valhalla. Some people like the way it feels, some people like the way it looks. Some people wanna sneak and hide and run like they fucking crooks. I was in my dark room, loud tunes, looking to bust your ass soon. Get fucked up while I'm filling my cup, them nades will make the ground move. I'm changing weapons swiftly, so you bitches have a seat. Took a shot, then another shot, then one time I said to thee, how the fuck you kill me with only 2 or 3 shots? I'ma show you how to turn it up a notch. You get a shotty full of shells, then you fuck 'em in the mouth.